Burnouts. 2 thumbs up for 2 Heat wins, 2-1 on this trip. I called it. I predicted it. I hoped for it. 3-0 would be wonderful. 3-0 would be wonderful. But with a back-to-back in there, with some injuries, with the Heat still not being fully healthy, which people take for granted. Will we ever see Hero? Maybe. But he's dangerously looming on the bench right now. Nonetheless, the Heat win against the Pistons, the top seed in the East, in a really good showing. We were blowing them out, then they clawed back, and then we secured it in a clutch game. We lost against the Timberwolves. We had it really close for the majority of the game, and then, fell apart in the fourth, but we were missing Powell for a bunch of the game. He came back in later. We lost Jaime very early in the game with a twisted ankle. I hope to see him back soon. So that's fine to expect that loss. Ant was absolutely cooking. Maybe a tryout for the Heat. Who knows? And then, doubt it. And then the Pelicans game, back-to-back, second night at home. We just put on a huge, strong showing against them. It was mostly close. Even though we were scoring at will, they were making some tough shots in the first half, and then we just blew the roof off and, sealed that game. It was a really easy win for the Heat, it seemed like, and just couldn't be happier with that. We'll be talking about those 3 games. We'll be slightly previewing the next game. It's only one before we record again, where the Heat play the Timberwolves again, this time in their house. We will also be talking about a few, no, I don't even want to say league-wide, just Warriors-specific topics towards the back half of this, and talking a little bit about Powell's All-Star case, as well as Bam Adebayo and the outrageous Heat fan hate towards him. But make sure to tune in for all that. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll get into all that and more after this. Let's jump right into it. Heat fans, since we last spoke, the Heat have gone 2-1. We've played 3 games, one against the Pistons, one against the Wolves, and then a back-to-back against the Pelicans, both of those at home. And while the loss to the Wolves was, a little disappointing, we'll get to that. We'll start from the oldest first with the Pistons. I will say we can't be upset. We got 2 wins out of these 3 in this little stretch here. So feeling good about that, still keeping a little positive win rate, keeping momentum going. We can jump straight into this Pistons game first, and we won't belabor it. It is, feels like old news at this point, but you got to talk about when your team beats what is currently the best team in your conference. The Pistons are, even though they've, been sliding a little bit, still the first seed in the East. And man, while we are starting at the oldest game, we're going to start at the freshest memory from it, and that is Jaime's cold-blooded shot to really secure the win for us. And excuse me as I take a drink from an unsponsored energy substance. As just a Jaime truther, there's been a lot of, for some reason, mixed reviews on Jaime so far this season. I will say that was just super exciting to see and cold-blooded of him, honestly. And the fact that the team, it was drawn up for him. He had the ISO. He felt good about it. They cleared out, and he had that little turnaround jumper on him. But that whole kind of sequence at the end, it was, wow. I mean, look, the Pistons game can never be a fun game, or I guess it was fun because we won, but in terms of we couldn't just keep the lead. We had a really nice lead against them. End of the third, we were up 94-81. We were up pretty much the whole game, and the lead did get pretty high at one point, but they were able to claw it back. So credit to the Pistons for them. Their bench unit was doing a whole lot. Marcus Sasser was going crazy. Let's look at just in the fourth what Marcus Sasser did. He had 7 points in the fourth. He went 3 of 3 from 3. So that was kind of game changing there for them. He was just a breath of fresh air for them. Javonte Green was also playing well. I mean, their whole roster played a good game for the most part. But not to talk about them. So there was this sequence here where Stewart blocks a Powell 3, and then Cade hits a deep 3 early in the clock. They get up to 107. We were up 114-107. Bam tries to drive on Stewart. Cade help defense, gets a steal, dunk for Asar, 114-109, timeout Miami, 106 left on the clock. Jaime checks in for Ware at this point. We want to secure, I guess, more offense, or we had it in mind already that he's going to be ISOing. And then Norm tries to drive hard, gets a good shot, look at the rim, but he misses it. And right after that, that's when Javonte Green hits that three to get them within 2 with 40 seconds left. Very scary, very clutch game. 114, 112. And then, of course, the Jaime ISO hits that turnaround J from the dunker spot, heat up for 28.9 seconds left. Davion secures the inbound pass with a steal, and that's the game. Powell hits his free throws after that, which, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a few days now. They took a little long to foul, and Eric Reed, the commentator for the Heat, was freaking out, like almost insulted that they were taking so long to foul to stop the clock. But point being, we were in a good position throughout most of this game. I will note that Jaden Ivey did go out, I believe, in the third quarter. So that, that makes a difference for them. But nonetheless, they weren't necessarily winning while he was still playing. The Heat were up throughout the majority of the game. And yeah, when you look at I'm sorry if I said Jaden Ivey, I meant Jalen Duren. But regardless, he was a minus 17 in his minutes. While he was 6 of 12 from the field, they weren't able to stop the Heat while he was out there. He had 18 minutes in the game. Aside from just that exciting sequence, Norm was on a heater. This was definitely, he was definitely a star of the game. He had, how many points did Mr. Norman Powell have? 36 points. I think that was his career high. 23 field goal attempts, 12 made, 14 attempts from three, 7 made. So 50% from three, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He had himself an offensive rebound, 2 assists, a steal, just a great game from Norm. The role player of the game, I do have to shout out, is Jaime Jaquez, 9 of 12 from the field. Like, he's just ridiculous, man. And 5 assists to go with that, 2 steals to go with that. Yeah, loving everything we're seeing from Jaime. And look, Bam is still not 100%, and that is very clear. Even in the Pelicans game, it is clear he's still not 100%. The commentators even said this, and I'll probably reiterate that. He went 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, but he had 14 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, 2 steals and a block, and he was a game high plus 17, despite still being fairly cold out there right now. So again, we're going to talk about Bam later. We're going to get into it, but loving still the effort that he's putting out there. And then, the opponent of the game, the op of the game, got to give it to Cade Cunningham. Despite him having 7 turnovers, he was still a +6 while they were losing. He was 6 of 16 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. So the shooting wasn't all there, but man, he was getting to the free throw line. 17 of 18 from the free throw line. Just was driving nonstop and getting fouls. Some of them, I will say, some felt a little ticky-tacky, but he was driving hard and getting the fouls called. He had 8 rebounds. He had 11 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He had a few really nice defensive possessions. Yeah, I really like Cade Cunningham's game, and I'm excited to see him in the playoffs this year. Not necessarily against the Heat, man, that would not be a fun series for either fan base, but Cade is just a spectacular player. I'm still a big fan of him. In this game, too, I would have to note that the Heat were missing Pelle Larsson, who, he's been a big deal for us, and of course, have been missing Hero. We were missing Hero for all these games. But I'll move on. Good win, solid win. Happy that it happened. We then played the Timberwolves. In this game, what can I say? We lost Hawkes in this game pretty early on in the game, and I do feel, and this, rose tinted glasses here, I don't care. I do feel like if we had him for the whole game, we definitely could have won this. He played 9 minutes and 57 seconds, almost 10 minutes. He was 3 of 5 from the field, but he was pushing pace. He was attacking. He was penetrating. He seemed like a force out there. It seemed like we were going to get a really good Jaime game. I mean, the 8 points in 10 minutes, that's not a bad line for somebody, along with 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Really happy with that, but he tweaked his ankle. He misstepped. I believe it was on Julius Randle that he stepped on Randle's foot and kind of, tweaked his own ankle. But it happens. We still should have and could have won this game, but I'm not going to be mad that while missing Hawkes, missing Hero, and Ant was on a heater. Ant was on a insane heater. Heat fans are saying this is like a tryout game for Ant because he was dapping up all of the Heat staff, dapping up Spo, dapping up, I think, someone like our head of security, having a post-game chat with Bam, their, U.S. Olympic teammates. While I would love to continue whale watching for Ant, it's unlikely he goes anywhere very anytime soon because of the fact that, I mean, he seems to love Minnesota right now. They're playing well enough. They'd have to flame out a couple of times for, I think, the discontent to rise to that point. And also, it's hard for these young players to turn down those supermax extensions. So we are a long way from going. Players don't normally leave in free agency anymore, so I wouldn't expect that. Uh, and Ant's stat line, I mean, without a doubt, we're kind of jumping ahead, but he was the op and the star of the game, to be honest with you. He had 33 points in this game, 10 of 19 from the field. He looked unstoppable out there. He was only cold from three, 2 of 8, but he hit a bunch of long middies on us. 11 of 14 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and the defense was suffocating. He was just, it's just a force of nature, man. I love to watch Anthony Edwards play basketball. He's just a really good basketball player. You can't say much more about it. And then on our side of things, there were some spurts there where it felt like maybe we could take control of the game, even with Hawkes out. In the third quarter, it ended at 86-90, just Heat down 4. So we were keeping it close. We never took control, but it felt like they would go on a run and we'd catch back up. They'd go on a run and we'd catch back up. But then at the beginning of the fourth, right at the beginning, they went on 15-4 run. We were able to get it within 10 a little later, but it never felt like we were really back in the game. And their whole defense, I mean, Gobert was a menace, despite the highlight of Bam turning him around and hitting the three, which was beautiful, I will say. Uh, you could tell his presence in the paint was forcing a lot of turnarounds, forcing a lot of misses, and we weren't able to attack it effectively. But not just him, the whole Wolves defense was kind of suffocating and keeping us from being able to penetrate, to drive and kick the way we normally do. They held the Heat to 10 fast break points, which is incredibly low for the Heat who love to run and gun. I will say without Jaime, that definitely is part of it, but it shouldn't be the full reason why we weren't able to get out there. I mean, in this game, there was some nice moments from the Heat. I liked a lot of what I've seen from Jovic, not just in this game. I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Jovic pretty much since he's come back. Jovic has been playing really well, but of course, not enough. And yeah, you gotta take it what you can get. I gotta do shout out Myron Gardner. He came in with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth. We were down 19 at the time. He was out there with the bench and Ware. And they were able to continue to kind of like hustle and play like very suffocating defense and cut the lead to 10 with 3 minutes left. And we ended the game, losing by 10. But it's so shout out to him, and he earned himself some minutes in the next game because of this, and also because of the injuries. But we how many minutes did Powell play total? Yeah. We didn't have Powell for the full game. Powell played 24 minutes, so 6 to 10 minutes shy of what he would normally be at. And we didn't have Jaime for, he played 9 minutes and 57 seconds this game. He'd definitely be way higher than that as well. So both of those guys missing a large chunk of time affected this without a doubt. And yeah, and Bam's shot still just not really falling in this game. He was 5 of 13. He was 5 of 14 in the Pistons game. And I should mention, in that Pistons game, there was a play where it was kind of evident that Bam's back was still hurting. He was fighting for an offensive rebound. Cade was fighting for two and kind of clipped Bam's legs. It wasn't dirty. Cade even tried to pick him up after, not trying to throw dirt at the Pistons. But when Bam fell, he fell right on his back. And you can tell that he was grimacing in pain, not comfortable at all. That back still isn't healthy, and it's clear the jumpers are just either a little short or a little strong. They're on target, but he's not where he should be. Defensively, he's still been able to hold up. Thankfully, he can move laterally. It just seems like maybe there's not as much lift there, or just a little bit of pain that's affecting that shot. That's keeping him from really getting to his spots as the way that, or I mean, he's getting to the spots. It's just keeping him from scoring once he gets to those spots. He had some nice looks even on Gobert that just didn't go in, and he was feeling confident enough to take that. He did have this one play that aside from the turnaround three, where Bam tried to post up Gobert, he missed the fader. It was a good look, This is in the third quarter. And then Ware gets the offensive rebound, passes it back to Bam, who drives again just right into Gobert and draws the and one. And that drew Gobert's fourth foul. Then he had to sit out at 7:29 left in the third. The Heat were just down one, 65-66. And that was able to actually spark a lead for the Heat in the third quarter that they took. Ware had another offensive rebound and got Powell a three, and the Heat take a lead 13-3 run there. And yeah, it was just great. Bam tried to find Ware for a lob. Ware got fouled on the lob, but he drew a foul. I like that duo action. I want to see more of that. The two bigs kind of playing together off of that. Jovic continuing to drive when he has a smaller defender on him and draw and ones, which is really nice. And at the buzzer, Ware had an offensive rebound and a putback, which is what got us to that 86 mark at the end of the third quarter. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, we had a lead at one point. We had it really close with Hawkes in there with the spark he brings and the defense that he plays. I feel like we really been able to maybe bust that lead open a little bit more or even end the third quarter on a tie game there. But nonetheless, we didn't have him, and it doesn't seem like it's a big issue. He said that he was probable, or that he was considering playing in the Pelicans game, but it was a back-to-back, so I definitely don't blame them for not wanting to force it. So who knows if he'll be ready. The Heat play the Wolves on Tuesday, so that's only that would be 2 days rest total, 2 days and X amount of hours total. I don't know if that's enough for the ankle to come back. Maybe if he misses this game, I'd imagine he'd be back by the next. So hopefully he's back there soon. Would love to have an almost fully healthy roster going into the Wolves game, to that rematch on Tuesday, which we will be talking about a little later in the pod. And maybe we'll see Hero. I mean, this does bring me to talking about the Pelicans game, the most recent game here, the most fun one probably. Hero was available, but sitting on the bench and not playing. It was like some weird thing that came out right before the game. Eric Spoelstra explained that he was being listed available and but wasn't going to play. This is just more to get the mindset ready for the next step. I don't have an exact date. I don't know what that means. I don't know why you would have him on the bench suited up just to not play. I get it if we were down players and we just needed somebody on the bench in a jersey. But I mean, we have like G League guys and other guys who could have been suited up, I guess. I don't know. Break glass in case of emergency thing, maybe against the Pelicans, where we really didn't want to lose the back-to-back. And if the Heat came out stagnant, maybe they would have had him go out there. That's really the only thing I could think of, that if the Heat didn't look good offensively, if they looked tired off the back-to-back, maybe they would have brought him in the second half or something to try to close out the game for us, but we obviously didn't need it. So not sure, but they're being very, mum's the word about this Hero timeline. I don't feel like I've heard anything that's giving us any indication of when he might be back. But the fact that he's in a uniform would lead you to assume that maybe sometime on this road trip. Don't know, man. Don't know. But that was the only weird part about this game. Aside from that, it was a really, really fun watch. We, this was the second night of a back-to-back. It was at home, and it was against the Pelicans, who aren't the best team, but they're not really a pushover. They've had some good wins this season, and Zion's healthy and looking pretty good, or, as healthy as he has been, but he's been looking good. He was driving with force in this game, pretty much getting to the rim at will fairly often. He was 6 of 10 from the field. Only played 26 minutes, so I guess they're maybe still limiting him a little bit there. But we just came out scoring. We couldn't miss. Norm especially. We almost tied a franchise record for most threes in a quarter. I think we had 9, and we almost had 10 in the first quarter. Norm and Powell had 34 in this game, so just another Norm heater. 36 against the Pistons, 34 against the Pelicans. 9 of 12 from 3. 9 of 12, 75%. 11 of 15 from the field. He had 4 free throws, hit 3 of them. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and they were pretty good steals. Not that any steal is bad, but impactful. just an incredible game from Norman Powell. It seemed like he was unstoppable. He drew some fouls from three, too, which he always does. I think he drew two of those this game, two different shooting fouls from three. Um, in the first quarter, he went 3 of 3, and one of them was like a logo shot. It was like a heat check, and this was 4 minutes into the game. Um, that he was just going insane. He actually, no, I'm sorry, he went 4 of 4 from three in the first quarter, and then drew that foul. So really, like 4 of 4 plus a 3-point foul in which he hit his free throws. Uh, just yeah, I mean, he's making a statement right now. He talked about it post game how he feels like he deserves to be an All Star, and his colleagues, other NBA players, are telling him he should be one, and he deserves it. This will be his first All Star if he makes it, and in the East especially, man, like. I think if there's any player on the Heat who deserves to make it to the All Star game right now, it's him, and I don't see why we wouldn't get one. We've been playing decent enough, and especially, if he's playing the way he's playing right now, you can't blame any of the losses really on him. I don't want to exaggerate too much. He's had some poor shooting games, but nonetheless, he has been a bright spot for the Heat this season. There's been more wins because of him than losses, without a doubt. And another interesting thing was that he wasn't even supposed to play this game because of that injury he had in the Wolves game where he came back. They were assuming he was going to sit him out. They were wanting to sit him out, and he told Spo to trust him and that he knows his body and he's fine. And Spo did. And wow, was Norm right? And has he earned the trust of our coach? Because from going from almost sitting out to scoring 34 points and being a plus 23, Davion Mitchell with a game high plus 29 in the game, mostly because of defense, because he only had 9 points. He did have 6 assists, but yeah, I mean, Davion was being really annoying on the defensive end as per usual, and was just out there for a lot of the runs, of course, that the Heat went on. Plus minus can be tricky that way. Was Yeah, shout out to Norm, man. He's become a big staple in Miami right now, and I'm hoping that if he doesn't get more fan votes, I'm hoping that at least the coaches and the players vote him in to the All-Star game as a reserve. He deserves it. I understand that he probably doesn't deserve to be a starter, based on just the top of the East players at the top of the voting, but he should be a reserve without a doubt. Jovic in this game, spectacular as well. I mean, I could go across the whole list, like Jovic, Larson, Ware, Bam, Wiggins. Wiggins had an okay game, but still good. All of them had their moments that were playing well, even despite the plus minus here. Like, I liked some of what I saw from Kasparis this game. I liked a lot of what I saw from Drew Smith this game. Myron Gardner was okay, a little frenetic, but nothing crazy. We only got one Simone Fontecchio minute out there, but Jovic had a sequence in which he scored 11 points in 2 minutes. This was early on in the game, and yeah, I mean, that's impressive. He only scored 14 total in the whole game, so that was most of his scoring right there. But 1 of 3 from three, 4 of 7 from the field. He had 4 assists, 3 rebounds. But what I was most impressed with, honestly, was his defense. He had a lot of really good defensive possessions throughout the whole game. I believe if he didn't have a block, he had a really good, strong defensive possession. No, yeah, he did. He blocked Zion on one of Zion's drives in the second quarter. And, did it get accredited? No, it didn't get accredited. Looked like a block. If it wasn't, it was a good contest nonetheless. I don't know if it went to someone else, but really good contest on Zion. And while I think he has the height advantage on Zion, the weight is obviously on Zion, even with him being skinnier now. So just really impressed by what he was able to do there. Oh, no, he did get credited with the block. I apologize. Was looking at the wrong game. He had 2 blocks this game. He had the Zion block, and what I was about to say, he also had a block on Jordan Poole, which was really clean. Uh, it was off of him actually causing a turnover. He had a really risky entry pass. I mean, I saw the vision, but just couldn't land it. And Jordan Poole, runs the break, and Jovic trailing gets the behind the back block, and it was strong. It was clean. Yeah, the defensive effort really was what was impressive to me, despite him also having a nice offensive game. Pella, of course, got hit in the face, as always, and is a pest, as always. 16 points plus 23. He was 1 of 5 from 3, so cold shooting. Jovic was 2 of 8 from 3, cold shooting from there, but Pella overall was 7 of 15, so when he was driving, he was scoring. And Pella had 6 assists to match Davion, and Bam, both with all three with 6 assists. A lot of passing, a lot of distributing, what you like to see from this Heat offense, driving and kicking, and just getting the ball moving. Even Wiggins had 3. We had almost every player who played this game, aside from Myron Gardner, had an assist. Everyone was moving the ball, and you could see it. We had a lot of fast break points. We had a lot of turnovers that we caused. The Heat had 19 steals total, forced 24 turnovers on the Pelicans. Some of those were sloppy Pelicans passes and plays in general, but nonetheless, we were forcing a lot of them, a lot of back taps, stuff like that. Did want to mention too, and I looked this up afterwards, Pella in the postgame talked about having Bam and Ware out there together and pressuring the boards a lot, whether it's on offense or on defense, just putting a lot of pressure and wearing out the other team, making them always have to fight for those things and getting them tired. So I wanted to look into this because you can remember, even though we all have short memory spans, short attention spans as well, the Heat had an issue with rebounding early in the season. It was something we were all talking about. Why is this happening? We have Ware out there, we have Bam out there. You would think that with 2 bigs, we'd be fine. And the rebounding mostly was good at different points, but never for the whole game, or not for whole stretches. In the last 10 games, the Heat have a 33.7% offensive rebound rate. Really good. That's 7th in the league, which is, we were talking about this in the last pod, how if you're getting the rebound on a third of your misses, that's really good. You're winning the possession game that way. And we have a 74% defensive rebound rate, which is that 3rd in the league. Which means on the opposite end, that means only 26% of misses are leading to offensive rebounds. So, we're winning the rebound game, we're winning the boards. And to put that in perspective to where we were, defensively, we were always decent on the rebounding. We had 69.5, which was 11th in the league, still a decent move up there. But offensively, we were at 29.1% of our at offensive rebounds, which is 21st in the league, and we've moved up 4.5 points there. And a bunch of slots up in the league. So happy to see. I'm hoping this is a trend. I'm imagining it's a lot of playing Ware more minutes, playing Bam and Ware together, and figuring out how to work that lineup more. Jovic being impactful since he has a big body out there, and also being able to get some rebounds, 6 for him. And when he's out there, not in this game particularly, but we've seen it in past games, Wiggins is able to attack the boards and get some rebounds. He's been getting a lot of offensive ones. Jaime has been getting rebounds too. Just really happy to see that. And there was this stat, or a historical footnote that was mentioned on the broadcast that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Bam and Ware apparently have the potential to be the first duo ever in league history to both average 10 plus assists. So not one of them averaging 12 and the other averaging 8 and having 20. But right now they are the duo that's leading the league in not an assist, in rebounds. Right now, let's repeat that. Bam and Ware currently have the potential to be the first duo in NBA history to average 10 plus rebounds. They are currently the leading rebounding duo in the league, but that's separate, because it could be because Ware's averaging 13 and Bam's averaging 8, and they'd still be the highest rebounding duo in the league. But apparently there's never been a duo that's both averaged 10, which I understand why that would be rare, but also seems odd to me. Seems odd. But hoping that we can keep an eye on that. Anytime you have a chance to make history, let's make some history. Not that it means anything necessarily. You want to continue to win games, but cleaning the glass matters. It's important. So I'm really happy that they're kind of figuring out a flow there, and that they're, working it out. Ware had 16 points in this game, 6 offensive rebounds, 6. Yeah. And 7 of 13 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. That's all right. Keep shooting them Ware. I mentioned this. He was flaming hot in December. He's going to come back down to earth a little bit. It's bound to happen. You're not going to shoot 45, 50% from 3 every month. That's not how it works. Before we get into some other stuff, I do want to mention, before we get into some Bam specific stuff and some other stuff, I do want to mention this one fun play, seeing our young Euros out there. There was this spot where on a fast break, Pella had the ball. He was running like on the left side of the court, and he passed it to Cass, who was like center court, as they were all crossing. Pella, Cass, and Nico. Nico was on the strong side, Pella on the weak side. Cass bounce passes to Nico, Nico then skip passes it back to Pella, and it's an easy bucket. And they were just running the break. It was like a 3-on-2, but it was just so nice because I mean, one, like they're all young and, there are these three young Euros who are on the team, love to see it, but also just the passing ability that they all show to look for each other and to make the extra pass, to not force it. Because Pele could have tried to force it there, or Nico could have tried to force it there, and you would have understood. I mean, it's in Cass's nature to almost always pass first, but love that that happened and that it ended up being just a really easy bucket for Pella. Pella also had this no-look lob that let me find exactly. It was in the second quarter. Davion Mitchell robbed Fears from behind. Fears thought he lost Davion on a screen. I mean, he did. Davion was like on the floor almost in push-up position, but he came back. He back tapped the ball. Pella gets it and he pushes pace. Jovic was running weak side. Powell was behind him, so Powell's trailing, and Jovic was calling for the lob. But with Powell behind, Pella just kind of fakes it. He just looks towards Powell as if he was going to pass it to him instead, but then threw the no-look lob to Nico, and yeah, got us the easy bucket, and that was fun. It was exciting. Love to see Nico running the fast break and Pella making the right reads, having those no-look passes. So just another really good play make from those two, and also as well. Role player of the game, I'm gonna go ahead and go, excuse me, as I keep adjusting the camera, the sunlight coming in, we're recording early here in the morning. But role player of the game, I'm going to go ahead and go with Jovic. I really liked everything I saw from him, not just offensively, but defensively. I felt like he gave us really valuable minutes. But I mean, you're pulling hairs here. You could have said Paolo was the role player of the game. You could have said, hmm, I'd say it's between them two. But I'm going to go with Jovic. And then star of the game, obviously, you have to go Powell. 9 of 12 from three. Just ridiculous. And op of the game is Trey Murphy, because he went 7 of 15 from three. And some of them were open, but some of them were contested. And he was just on fire. 10 of 19 from the field. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, a block for Trey Murphy. He's a really good player, man. He's someone that a lot of people on the trade market would want to go for, but I don't know if the Pelicans want to trade him. They're building this young team. Derek Queen looked really nice out there as well. He has his limitations defensively. I felt like he was bullied a little bit on that end, but he's strong driving to the rim, has a nice shot, nice feel for the game. Some lob attempts by him that were beautiful, that didn't go in, that just almost were made, but him having really nice passes. And Jeremiah Fears also is a really nice young player too. 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 6 from three. He looked really nice up there. Also with a steal and a block. They've got some stuff. They don't have their own pick this year, but they do got some stuff. Also, last note, sorry, do got to call out. We GTA'd Jose Alvarado. For those who don't know, Jose Alvarado, last name Alvarado, was going by GTA for a while, Grand Theft Alvarado, because he would sneak up behind players after like inbounds when they're crossing half court, and he'd back tap them. And Kasparis did that to Jose. It was beautiful. I saw it coming. He was being sneaky, coming right up behind him as he was bringing it from half court. This was in the second quarter, and yeah, got a turnover for the Pelicans. And next play, well, it ended up not mattering because Cass forced a steal. They tried to throw the ball to Cass as he was like pretty open on, the Pelican side of the court, but they overthrew it and it went out of bounds. But on the next play, Cass did hit a three. So he got his buckets. He got them, but just needed to shout that out. This next thing I do want to mention, there was like a rage bait post that felt like almost Bam at the half. Let's find the exact post. Talking about how Bam hadn't, scored and wasn't really shooting. He had 4 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 2 of 5 field goals in 15 minutes at the half. Which, yeah, when you just look at that, you're like, that doesn't look very good. But man, I just feel like people are looking for reasons to hate on Bam right now, and it's really annoying. At the half, sure, he was 2 of 5 from the field, but he was a +9. With the Heat were playing wonderfully. He just missed a couple shots, but we were up at the half as well, I believe. Yeah, we were up 70-62. And 4 assists also is nothing to joke about. Like 4 assists at the half is pretty good for a big man, especially when Davion also had 4 assists. He also had a block. Yeah, and the 1 rebound was an offensive rebound too. You gotta take what you can get here, because the Pelicans did come out scorching in the first half too. They weren't missing a lot, so they were shooting 44% from three and 58% from the field in the first half. So we got that offensive rebound that is helping us lead to more buckets. Ware had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half, by the way. But yeah, I just don't like the call out. Bam was a +9 in the first half. Powell was a +9. Mitchell was a +12. Larson and Jovic both +8. They were the highest plus minuses in the first half. Yeah, man. And again, you can tell his back's not there. And this is why it's annoying that we want players to play through injuries to tough it out, because we'll slam them for missing too many games. But then when they do play through injuries, if they don't do everything we want them to do, if they don't look perfect, then we shit talk them. And it's stupid and it's not fair, and he deserves better. This guy has been, you know, the heartbeat of this team for a really long time, and doesn't deserve to get turned on by the fans like this. It's stupid. It's also, for the people who aren't watching, he was getting doubled on almost every single possession he had in the first half. And most of the time was leading out to an assist, which is why he had 4, or to a pass that would then lead to an assist. He was passing out of the double. He'd post up, pass out of the double. It's smart basketball. He's not forcing the shot. That's why he didn't have more field goal attempts. And either way, he's injured right now. He's not going to force the ball and force the shot. We're winning by association in all these games. I mean, Powell was on a heater, sure, but that's what he does. Powell is a shoot-first shooting guard. Bam is a facilitator and a defensive anchor. So if he can chill on offense because the rest of the team is cooking, then that's kind of perfect for his skill set. And it's working. It worked in this game. He was a +23 at the end of the game. But Heat fans, man, they just point towards random stuff. There's been people pointing to the fact that Bam, when he's been out, the Heat are 6-2. Let's look at the games that we won while Bam was out. We beat the Hornets, who were also down LaMelo and Brandon Miller. We beat the Blazers in a close one. That was a good win. We beat the Cavs by 2, who lost Garland to injury in the third, and their coach was ejected. And this was the Wiggins buzzer beater game. It wasn't like it was a comfy win, even with them having injuries and their coach out. We then lost to the Cavs, who were resting almost their whole team. Well, no Mitchell, no Mobley, Garland injured. We then lost to the Knicks, who didn't have Brunson. Cat scored 39 points in this game, and OG played in this game. We did beat the Knicks, who didn't have Brunson, but they also didn't have OG, and we beat them by 2. Cat went 1 of 7 from 3 this game. That was just him having a poor shooting night. There's also that crazy sequence at the end where Ware was like spamming the block button. It wasn't like a comfortable win either. We beat the Hawks, okay, and we blew out the Pacers, okay. So those are the wins that make you feel comfortable that we don't need Bam. Not really seeing that. This season, when Bam is on the court, and I know you guys don't like to look at numbers because they don't agree with what your silly eyes think. He has the 3rd best net rating on the team. On-off numbers with Bam. He's a +6.4 net. That would mean that that's 5th in the league. 5th in the league is a 6.1. So almost one of the best teams in the league when Bam is on the court. With Bam off, we have a +1.3 net rating. That's 15th. So we're a middle of the pack team when Bam is off. Defensive rating specifically, 111 versus 113.7. That's the 3rd best defensive rating versus the 14th best defensive rating. Offensive rating, 117 versus 115, 117.6, sorry. That's 5th best versus 12th best. Points per 100 possessions, +1.75 while Bam is on the court. Defense, 3.85 points better when Bam is on the court. 97th, he's in the 97th percentile in not fouling on defense, 92nd percentile in preventing offensive rebounds. At the same time that all these people are complaining that we're saying hell no to trade calls for Bam, if Bam wasn't valuable, why do you think so many people are calling for him? Do you think like they're all stupid and that we're stupid, that just the whole league is stupid? They're stupid for asking and we're stupid for saying no? Dumb. And then the Numbers on the Board podcast, they were talking about this too. They're mostly Knicks fans. They were talking about, has Bam peaked? Maybe. Is he currently in his peak? Is he just in like a little bit of a shooting slump right now? They don't know too much context. They're not watching every Heat game. But they had been talking about either way, if he's peaked, he's still a really damn good player and they would want him on the Knicks. He can fit into any offense, fit into any defense. He's an unselfish player. people love to play with him. Just get over it, man. Either way, we're not trading Bam. He's not going anywhere. In these games, Bam just became the second player in the second highest field goals made in Heat history, and also I believe second most or third most games played in Heat history. It's not going anywhere, man. He's not going anywhere. Overall, 2-1 in this stretch. Pretty happy with it. See how we do against the Wolves. Powell, got to make that guy an all-star. In this game against the Wolves, this is the start of a 4-game road trip. We play them, then the Bulls, the Pacers, and then a back-to-back versus the Thunder. That's tough. At least I'm hoping for some wins against the Bulls and Pacers. If we go 2-2 in this stretch, I'm happy. If we somehow beat the Thunder, who are slumping a little bit right now, I'll go crazy, especially on a back-to-back. But yeah, that's tough to play the Thunder on a back-to-back at home for them. On the Wolves, I mean, same team, the offensive ratings, defensive ratings, none of that's changed. They're still one of the better teams in the league. Things I'm hoping for here, maybe Bam is feeling a little bit better. I think he's going to need some time off before that back fully heals for the shot to start falling more. Would love to see Jaime back. I think, like I said, I think he makes a big difference against this team, at least in that one small 10-minute sample size. He was getting to the rim at will. Pele will actually be in this game because he wasn't in it last time, and we've seen the difference he makes. If you got to win around the margins, especially on a closely contested game like it was for most of the game. See what Spo has cooked up as far as adjustments go. Whether it's offensive adjustments or defensive adjustments. Ant cooked us, maybe finding different ways to stop him or to make his life a little bit more difficult to make someone else beat us. We did do a good job at getting Rudy in foul trouble. Maybe we could do some more of that and take advantage more of when he's off the court. So just excited to see what we could do here and how that game goes overall. Last but not least, as I take a sip here, 2 Warriors-related things. One positive, one negative. Positive, as of yesterday morning, Steph Curry, 37 years old, is averaging 28.8 points a game on 64.2% true shooting for the season. He is the only player averaging 28 points per game on 64% true shooting, aside from the big three, Jokic, SGA, and Giannis. This is a Reddit post by OK Pineapple Num, and an incredible call out, incredible stat. Steph Curry is defying father time in a similar way to LeBron has. The shooting is insane, and he is still one of the best shows, if not the best show, in basketball when he is on. You just got to respect what he does, and yeah, love Steph Curry, love everything from him. On the negative note, somewhat Warriors related. So over the weekend, Warriors played against who was it that they just got ejected against? I think it was against Utah. Yeah. He's been ejected in his past 7 games, Draymond Green has. Against Phoenix, against Orlando, against Dallas, against Charlotte, against Toronto, he was ejected. Against OKC, he rested because they didn't want to have him play. And and then he was ejected against Utah. Since December 20th by Nate Duncan. He's gotten tossed from 2 games, refused to enter another, and then missed 4 games and had a negative plus-minus in all but 2 games he's played since December, minus 15 in that night on January 3rd. That Draymond Green's not been playing well, getting ejected, throwing hissy fits, throwing tantrums. And despite all that, despite everyone knowing that Draymond Green's one of the most emotional players, for good or bad, and right now for bad, that the league has ever seen, Jimmy Butler's best friend, Ernie the Man, on Twitter, posted this gem of a tweet. They should not allow women to ref grown men game. I'm all for equality, but they should not be out here. I don't care what they say. Just awesome. Just awesome. Great content from Ernie the Man to just put the sexism out there. Draymond Green got ejected in that game by a female referee, which is why he was saying this. Draymond Green was yelling in the ref's face, as he always does. And sometimes the refs let it slide. This time they did not, which is totally cool with me because they let it slide far too often and they don't let it slide with other players. This ref gave him the tech, got him out of there. That's how it is. And then to try to pin it as if this was a thing that the women are too emotional to be dealing with this. it just, so this was a follow up tweet from Ernie the Man. Someone said they're gonna cook you for this, and he said, "Why so? In a game full of emotion and grown men being disrespectful, you think they should allow women to control that? Come on now, that's just common sense. That's common sense." Oh, nice, really nice. Uh, yeah, man. No, Draymond Green is being a baby, and she didn't show any emotion. She gave him a tech and kicked him out of the game because he was being disrespectful to the referees, which he always is. He is overly emotional. And there is no issue with a woman ejecting him. And that's one ejection in his past six, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, six total ejections in the past few games. One of them was by a woman referee, and now it's an issue. That's just, I don't know. That's embarrassing to me. He's not like an NBA player. He's not important enough to warrant like a response from Jimmy Butler. I don't think. I don't think that's going to come up in any press conferences. Um, but yeah, it's just stupid. That someone would go out here and put this on the record. Uh, there was a comment that replied to him saying, "You could say women are equipped to deal with grown men who can't handle their emotions. I just know how people will read this honestly. I find it hilarious." And he said, "I disagree." So he disagrees that women are equipped to deal with grown men who can't handle their emotions. Um, yeah, just embarrassing by Ernie the Man. That was my negative thing that I wanted to just point out because I don't like this guy. So whenever anything bad or anything he says that's dumb makes its way onto my feed, I'm gonna call it out because he's been a big Heat hater for a long time, pretended to be a Heat insider when all he knows is Jimmy Butler, and yeah, I'll stop myself there. But um, yeah, L take. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you.